Cities around the world have implemented various transit priority measures to speed up their buses, with Singapore being no exception. Bus lanes cover many trunk roads across the island, speeding up our buses, at least in theory. Unfortunately, compared to what many other cities have done, our efforts at establishing transit priority have most certainly fallen short, and we may even be backsliding, as you'll soon see. In the first video of this two-part series, we'll be looking at the abject failure of existing transit priority measures, what's causing this failure, and how we can move forward. In the second part, we'll be looking at expressways and how we can implement bus priority over there. This is a peak hour right-turning bus lane along Tampines Avenue 12, a fairly common sight across the island. Except that wasn't always the case. This used to be a bus-only right turn, meaning that cars were completely banned from using this turning lane. However, after pressure by local residents, the bus-only lane was replaced with a regular bus lane, meaning that outside of peak hours, cars can use this lane, clogging it up for buses and causing them to miss traffic lights. This phenomenon of transit priority backsliding is not confined to the Far East. This is Tengah Link, a bus-only road which allows buses to enter Tengah town without being impeded by cars. As you can clearly see, however, this bus-only lane is frequently violated by cars, seemingly without a care in the world. Fellow YouTuber Transit Evolution recorded at least 200 violators using this lane, and that didn't even account for repeat offenders. With cars being allowed to use bus-only lanes without any threat of punishment, what message does this send to bus commuters? It appears as if bus commuters are treated as second-class citizens, flying right in the face of the LTA's goal of a car-light society. Here's where we have to face a rather uncomfortable truth. The real enemy of car light isn't the LTA, it's Singaporeans themselves. Motorists, having paid so much for a car, feel that all road infrastructure must cater to them. As such, many of them vehemently oppose car light measures, even if it only results in mild inconvenience, and they are not afraid to use their bargaining power to ensure favourable allocations of road space. Even those who don't own a car yet also oppose these measures. They too cling onto the hope of being able to afford a car and want the best environment for one. The driving factor behind owning a car for many Singaporeans is speed. Despite our world-class public transit, driving is often 3 to 4 times faster than taking the bus or train. The car usage rate is among the highest in the world, since most people who own a car seek to use it as much as possible. It is therefore all too tempting to just throw in the towel and refuse to implement transit priority measures that infringe too much on car users' road space for fear of backlash, while building some new MRT stations and spending money on buses to front the notion of a car-light society. However, that's exactly what we shouldn't do. Transit priority measures not only benefit current bus commuters by making buses faster, they also attract those who have considered alternative transport options, namely cars and private hire vehicles. In doing so, driving is also made less convenient, giving all the more incentive to switch over to public transport, preventing the overuse of cars among those who have them. Bus lanes and B signals do exist in certain places, providing some level of bus priority. However, as is clearly evident by the snail space at which buses move, this is wholly inadequate. So then, what can we do to improve transit priority? First of all, we need to implement some level of transit signal priority to ensure that buses spend the least amount of time possible at traffic lights and intersections. What really slows buses on the roads is not really vehicular traffic, it's the amount of time that they spend dwelling at traffic lights. Buses can be fitted with transponders that turn lights green at the soonest possible time. A priority system can be established, where the light turns green first for express and trunk buses, and then long feeders and feeders, if there are buses waiting along both the roads at an intersection. By doing this, passengers are encouraged to take buses for long distance travel, relieving crowding on the MRT, as well as attracting new passengers who would appreciate the newfound speed and convenience of direct buses to faraway places. We've already tried this before, first with 700 in 1999 and more recently in 2018. What's stopping us from doing it again? Next, we need to establish some form of protection for our bus lanes. Currently, bus lanes along many busy roads with car traffic filtering in and out are rendered almost useless, as buses using said lanes would have to crawl in order to anticipate oncoming traffic. Geylang Road is a particularly bad example of this. Buses almost never use the bus lane there, instead using the second from left lane. To counteract this, traffic lights could be established at these intersections to prevent interference from turning traffic. Existing transit signal priority means that buses will not be impacted by these lights. They will always be green whenever a bus approaches, allowing them to use the bus lane properly and attain much faster speeds. As such, these small but crucial changes will speed up our buses, relieve pressure on our roads and rail lines, and support the creation of a car-led society. Thanks for watching part 1 of Transit Priority in Singapore, and stay tuned for part 2.